This is a chore that I have dreaded doing, but now it's done. So I cleaned off the cattle panels from the beans. They were dyed out. That was our greasy beans. They were all dead, and I had a few beans on them. I probably picked, I don't know, maybe 2 handfuls, 3 handfuls at the most, and I will likely lay those out and let them dry, and that to use for seed is what I'll use those for. If you notice down there at the end, there is 2 little bunches of beans that I left. So that's our Cherokee Trail bean and our bean that a subscriber shared that he called Grammy bean. So we're letting those grow, and we're going to save seeds from both of those. So those will be, I won't have to tear those out for another week or 2 at least. But when I do, that will be really easy compared to the long lengths that I just cleaned out. I didn't think I'd be able to do any work outside today because it was forecast to rain all day. But so far, it's dreary, and there's been a sprinkler or 2. But so far, I've been able to work. And I really wanted to get this done, so I'm glad. There is a definite feeling of fall in the air, though. There's a little bit of a breeze, and I've noticed as I've been out looking, especially up on the ridge behind the house, there's a tinge of yellow to a lot of the leaves. So fall is definitely on the way. There's a few more things I want to do today. I'm going to have to go in and eat me some dinner, though. I'm past dinner time, so I need to go get some sustenance. And then I think I'm going to come back out and clean on some more beds. And then I'm going to replant some of our fall stuff that didn't come up, and then maybe plant some additional things. So I went in and got me some dinner, ate some watermelon, so now I feel some better. Got my strength back. So now I've already went ahead. You can kind of see behind me. I pulled up the rest of all the zucchini and the squash except one zucchini I left. I probably should have pulled it up too, but it did have one little bloom on it, so I left it. But I kind of redid those little beds, and I'm going to plant some stuff in there. I also, behind the oakery, like between the bean panels and the oakery, there's where we put a row of turnips. And it was like they come up, and then they didn't come up, and then they come up, and then the whole rest of the row didn't come up. So I'm going to replant those. I guess I'm going to put turnips back there. I'm not sure what I'm going to put here. But I brought some of my seeds out to see what I thought. I'm definitely going to do, first year ever I grew carrots, so I want to try them this fall, but I'm going to put them back in the back garden. I'm not going to put them up here. I've already planted a lot of radishes, so I don't think I'll plant any radishes now. And I've got my beets with me, but a lot of you told me, thank you, that beets need it to be a certain temperature, that it was probably too warm, too hot for them to germinate. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer on them too. But here's my turnips, so I definitely want to do some more of them. So I'll leave those out. Then I have the lettuce and spinach, but I don't know. I've already got a lot of kale going. I don't want to know if I want to do any lettuce at this time. I have a little bit of lettuce in one of my green stalks. I think that's all this is lettuce and spinach. Yes. So I'm not going to do any of those. I can lay that one back in my basket. Kale and other greens, so I'll see what else is in there. We planted some mustards, and they're up, but they don't look that great. So I'm wondering if I could put some of those somewhere else, if I have any seeds left. I could always do more kale. We love kale. Good thing about planting those greens, of course, you have them all, like the kale usually, and the mustard will make it through the winter for us so we can enjoy them. But also my chickens love it. So it's kind of like giving them something green in the winter, since they're, there's not anything for them. So I like that part. I mean, that's just another reason I like to grow greens for us and them. Oh, and the cabbage. That's what I want to do. I was thinking there was something else I want to do about the turnip. I'm going to plant some cabbage right there. There's me some mustard greens. So I think I'll do some mustard greens down here. So if nothing else, I could do more kale, but I'm going to wait a little bit on that. Let's see. Here's my cabbage and kohlrabi. Maybe I'll do a few kohlrabi. So the late flat Dutch, that's what, if you watch the Alex Stewart videos, that's what his grandmother was growing, and I think that's what I planted up there. No, it don't look like, yeah, maybe I've not opened it, so maybe I'll plant some of those. I might do some kohlrabi. I bet this is what I planted in the back, was Copenhagen. I've grown that one a lot, and I like it. I've got some onions, bunching onions. I was thinking about going back and getting some of my, I might do that, some of my, walking onions, Egyptian onions, they're still growing down here, but I might get some of the little extra ones and put them up here just so that if they grow through the winter, that would be like green onions, you know, really fresh green onions. And then this is a different cabbage, Charleston Wakefield. I guess I've grown it because it's been opened. Rare to find this tasty conical cabbage outside of a home garden. Dark green pointed heads with sweet hearts, weighs 3 to 5 pounds. An old variety developed for southern growing conditions. I don't think I'm going to do that one though. And then Brunswick. Brunswick, that's a pretty popular one. So I think I'll start with the late flat Dutch and maybe some more mustard greens right here behind me. And then definitely the turnips. So I think I'll do mustard greens in this front one. All I did was kind of, you know, did a little hoeing here and overturned the dirt. And then I did go get some compost and sprinkle on top. So I did do that. And I think I'm going to cover it with compost. So I guess I'm going to do my mustards right here. And I think I'm going to plant the whole, just the whole thing, as far as my seeds will go anyway. That's it for them. Make sure I got them all. Then I'm just going to lightly cover all those seeds with some more compost. We are going to get rain tonight, so I won't have to worry about watering it. It'll be watered in. And it is damp today, so a lot of people don't like to plant when it's wet at all. I've found over the years that as long as it's not like soupy wet, it's fine for me. But everybody has to kind of find their own way on that. Now I'm just going to kind of pat it in a little bit. And for this one back here, this kind of little small bed, I'm going to do turnips in it. And instead of trying to do them in a row, I'm just going to broadcast like I did the mustard greens. Make sure. Got a few in the bottom that's stuck. Get those out. One more. Come on out. There you go. Okay, and then I'm just going to lightly cover it with compost too. So you can see this long row down through there, and then you can kind of see the turnips that did come up there in the middle. They're doing pretty good, but just on both sides of them, they didn't come up at all. So I think I'm gonna plant cabbage all the way down through here and just see. I've got turnips in another place in the garden, and then I'm also going to put some in the back. So I think I'm just going to do cabbage all the way down through here and just see what happens. I am going to do the late flat Dutch that Alex Stewart talked about. Okay, I got that all covered up. Taking a nod again from Alex, he talked about his grandmother using mulch, which she was using wood shavings from his grandpa's, all his vessel making. But I scraped up some mulch, since I already have mulch out here, and just put a little bit and packed it down. Maybe if the cabbage comes up, I can dress them on both sides like his grandmother did. So up here in these two beds, our peppers are still just going like crazy. We're harvesting peppers every day. I need to make some more pickled peppers. Those turned out, if you watched my video where I showed how I made them, it's kind of fermented, but also with vinegar, really good. They were so good, so I need to do some more of that. But on this side, I'd already pulled out all of the melons, so there's some extra space right there that that's where I'm going to put the carrots. And then on this side is where I had my cucumbers, and I had replanted part of them, hoping that they would really do good and come on strong. They've not. They're kind of puny and pitiful looking. There is some little tiny cucumbers though, so maybe I'll get one or two. But the other half that I left definitely is ready to be pulled out, so I'm going to pull them out. And then I'm thinking right in front of that I might actually do some more turnips back here. I know it sounds like I'm planting a lot of turnips, but we love turnips. I love to eat them raw, and then we love them stewed, just like you would stew potatoes. We really like turnips. I did get just a handful of little cucumbers, so really small. That one's bad. I don't guess we could eat that one, but at least two more to eat. I'll for sure eat them. I still have a lot of tomatoes in this bed, so I'm going to try not to disturb them because they're really still producing. So I'm going to try to weave them up out of the way when I start pulling the cucumber vines out. I don't want to pull them. I kind of hate to pull them because there's one or two little cucumbers, but see, that's what's happened. Oh, he flew off. I was going to show you a bug. That's what's happened to my cucumbers is they've been invaded. So now that I've got both beds ready, I'm kind of nervous about the carrots. I think the reason my carrots did so well in the spring was because I planted them so early, like in February. So I'm thinking, is this really the time? Should I wait? Maybe I should wait a little bit longer before I plant them. What to do? We'll definitely still have a lot of warm weather. You know, the rest of September will be warm. October, we'll usually get our last frost sometime at the end of October. So then that makes me wonder if I should wait on the carrots. Maybe I'll plant just a tiny bit and see what happens, but not plant them all. Maybe I'll do that. But I'm going to plant more turnips, though. I'm definitely going to do that. And then in my little containers out here where I've planted kale, and it's doing really good in one of them, and then there's one of them where it's kind of come up in one half and not another half, so I think I'm going to plant some more kale just in that half. So in this bed where this is the cabbage. I think the Copenhagen is what this is, but it's just come up in spots, and then there's some that's really close together, so I'm going to try to spread those out a little bit further, and then also maybe plant just a little bit more. So actually I'm not going to plant anymore. Once I spread them out, there was enough for a whole row. I probably have them too close together, but again, they may not make it. And then even one I put right here. So I'm not going to plant any more right here. We'll just wait and see what happens with these. And something's already been eaten on them, so I need to spray some neem oil on them or something. Hopefully as the fall goes on, though, there'll be less of that, less varmints or insects to bother them. I feel like I got a lot done today, even though when I got up this morning I thought, well, I'm not going to get to work outside any. But then when it kind of didn't, by the time I'd finished breakfast and cleaning up, I thought, well, it's not raining yet. So anyway, I've kind of pushed it all day. I have felt a few drops just in the last few minutes, so maybe I made it just in time. I'm flying solo today because today is the opening day for bow season, for deer season. So that's where Matt's at. Just another sign of fall that hunting season's here. You can really feel it in the air today. I felt it kind of all week, even though I was hot. Me and Corey did a lot of work outside one day this week, and it was just so hot. And then the next day, I was hot like that. Oh, we mowed the yard and weed eated and all that, and it was burning hot. But it still, even with the heat, somehow you could feel the little touches of fall. When I look up in the mountains, up on the ridge, I can see the tinge of yellow. It's starting, the trees are starting to turn. It's been a very peaceful day, though. I think because it is so socked in with the clouds and the fog, it's kind of made it a hush over everything. I miss Matt not being here with me. But you know, I've harvested along the way. I've been harvesting stuff as I went. I've got some tomatoes and some onions. Gathered a few beans when I was cleaning that up. So I'm here harvesting, but he's harvesting too. You know, if he gets to harvest a deer, that feeds us for a long time. And that's the preferred meat that we like to eat, you know, totally organic. He did it with his hands. I wish we had a farm where we had animals, could raise animals for food and other uses, but we don't. So that's one of our main resources, is when he does get to go hunting. And of course, you have to hunt when hunting season's here, so it's only the one time of the year. And hunting's not always a guarantee. Whereas if I go out in the garden, typically I'm going to be guaranteed that I'm going to harvest something. I think this is my favorite garden that I've ever had. For one thing, I think it's the prettiest that we've ever had. And it's been very bountiful, so I'm thankful for that. But I guess why it's my favorite is just because this is the first year that I've got to witness it every day. Every day I've been at home instead of at work on a job somewhere. And I've got to really be, I guess, more intimate with it. It sounds kind of silly, but it's true. I've got to notice every little thing instead of mostly noticing a quick peek of the evening and then really immersing myself in it on the weekends. I've got to really, during the day, come out and pay attention and do this or that and do whatever needs to be doing. And it's the first one where I've got to be hands-on every day, and I'm sure that's why it's my favorite, and that may be why it's actually been more, seems like it's the prettiest too, because I've been able to take care of things. I feel very blessed too. I'm very thankful to be able to do that. I know not everyone can. I couldn't for all those years. But I feel very blessed to be able to. And I feel it raining now. It's really going to start raining on me. I may not even get to finish my popsicle. I better cover up my seeds though. They're going to get wet. You see, I need more turnip seeds. I've planted almost all of them between the last go around and then today. So I hope you enjoyed going along with me today as I kind of flew solo doing some chores around the garden. I'm so glad I got those beans, got the beans tore down. That was just, I dreaded it, but it was bugging me every time I looked at it. I'm really excited about the things that we're growing for fall. We always grow some kale and some mustard, collard, something like that. We usually always do that, but we've planted a lot more this year. I'm excited about those cabbage that I've never tried to grow in the fall. I'm excited about our late planting of tomatoes that already have green tomatoes on them. I'm so excited about that. Surely I'll get at least one red one, if not more than one. I'm excited about the rattlesnake beans. So it's just, as a gardener, you're always looking ahead. So it's all that excitement really makes me even excited for next summer. You know, we have big dreams of getting rid of the grass, or at least getting rid of some of it and having more beds. I'm thinking, like right here, what if I could have, even if it was just one row of corn, what if I could do that? What if I could have, on that side, what if I could have a row of potatoes? So I'm so excited. I don't know if we'll get all that done or not. Things like that take time, and I know that, but it's really exciting to dream. Very exciting, and very exciting to be able to, if all these things come to fruition, the cabbage and the tomatoes, I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm almost positive I'm going to get at least one red tomato. But it's just a wonderful thing that I've extended the food for my family. Instead of just having that one block of summer, we kind of have spring and then summer, and then the small amount that I would do in the fall. I've really done a lot more this year. So all that's just so exciting. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you'll drop back by often, help me celebrate Appalachia, which is a whole lot about making a garden.